Hello, my dear students. We wish all of you are fine. I'm Ifatara Jahan, your course teacher. Today, our discussion topic is reproduction of fungi. We already finished our midterm, and before that, we already know about the basic things of fungus, that is, the structure, the classifications with examples, all the things we already learned. So today we're going to learn about reproduction of fungus and it will be the part 1. Okay. First of all, we know what is fungus. Fungus is a structure, microorganism, plant-like structure which is actually have some chitin-like cell walls which have some mycelium through which it can grow. Okay. These are the some characteristics of fungus. And whenever you are going to reproduction, we know that what is reproduction. If we talk about what is reproduction, then we can say that reproduction actually means what? Reproduction means it's the biological process by which new sprints or individual organisms are produced from their parents. So this reproduction mainly happen in two ways. One is asexual and another is sexual. But in case of fungal reproduction, fungi can reproduce by three ways. One is vegetative, another is asexual, and another is sexual. That is the trees. And this vegetative reproduction is actually one kind of asexual reproduction. But due to process of reproduction is just difference between vegetative and asexual. In case of vegetative reproduction, there will be a single parent, and in case of asexual reproduction, there also be a single parent. But due to some sporangium or due to some methods of reproduction, it's actually divided from asexual and it's called vegetative. But it's really a asexual reproduction, kinds of. So we already know in case of asexual reproduction, there will be one parent, and in case of sexual reproduction, there will be two parents. So our today's topics of discussion is actually the vegetative reproduction of fungus, and the other two parts, asexual and sexual reproduction, we'll read it in our next class. So then what is actually now questioning is the what is vegetative reproduction and why you say like that? It's like uh, one that type of reproduction which involves the somatic portion of the fungal thallus. Okay, so what do you mean by now somatic portion? What is the meaning of somatic? Somatic means actually the parts of the your whole body. Okay, that is your moving body or your physical appearance, the whole body, some portion actually applied there or used there for reproduction. And if you go for fungal thallus, it will be like thallus means the mycelium of the fungus. Okay, in vegetative reproduction, mycelium in different way actually engage in reproduction. So it's called that somatic portion of the fungal thallus or mycelium where new individuals are formed without the production of seeds or spores by meiosis. That means in case of that reproduction, mainly your whole body will be used. Your whole body will be divided in different portions. And by that division, different kinds of new individual cells or new individual characteristics will be formed or daughter cell will be formed. But there will be no production of any seeds or spores. It is called the vegetative reproduction. Okay. So, if we go for types of the vegetative reproduction, how it's happened, it's actually 7 types that we are going to discuss. First of all, it is fragmentation, fission, second one, third budding. Then Oedia 5 is Spores. Then 6, it's called Rhizomes, and our last one is called Scleria. So let's discuss about all of the reproduction. First of all, that is our fragmentation part. So actually, what is fragmentation? If you look at the figure, that you can check that it is the whole body of a fungus, and it is fragmented in different parts. Here is a division there, there is a division there. That means that is the fragment of that body. So what happened in fragmentation? Actually, the mycelium of the fungi fragmented by different kinds of injuries, or you can say in different divided in different segments. Okay, and then further each segment divided are grow as a new mycelium under favorable condition. That means it's a whole body of mycelium of a fungus, and there is some division. It can be some mechanical injuries, or it can be natural ways divided, and each of the portion, that is, this portion will be mature mycelium, and from this portion it can be another mature mycelium, and from this portion it can prepare another kinds of mature mycelium. So as the whole mycelium is fragmented in different parts, so it is called the fragmentation. Okay, so this reproduction name is fragmentation. Then our second form, that is called fission. Okay, uh, as you already know, fission means the division of cells. So here also this happen like that. In fission, what happened? The parent cell actually elongate and divides transversely into two daughter cells, and between the parent cell, the nucleus also divides, and its cytoplasm is also divided. Okay, and it divided into two portions, that it's divided to mature daughter cell. So if you think about its each cell, in case of fission, we check that if it's a fungus, we think that it's a fungus, then what happens? First of all, it will be single parents, then it will divide it into two segments, and its cytoplasm and nucleus also divided into two segments. Then a wall will be formed between them, and then it will be separated. And it's called the fission of vegetative reproduction of fungus. Okay, and the daughter cell can be further divided like its parent cell. And our third one is budding. Mainly we see that budding in yeast. Okay, yeast also can form by the fission formation. And what happened in budding? Actually, in budding formation, it's like that. It's a parent cell, and it's a nucleus and vacuoles. It's a nucleus and vacuoles. It can be divided. It can be divided further like fission. In case of fission, it was like that. It's actually divided into two portions. It almost is the similar division or equal division. But in case of budding, what happened? One portion of the cell will be elongated, or you can say it will be increased in one portion, which is called the bud. And with that, the nucleus and the vacuole also just increase or elongated. And then it's divided from the parent cell or mother cell. That it will be a mature bud. And from this mature buds, again another bud can be produced. And in this way, budding is continued. If you check that, that is a parent cell and that is a bud. And from that bud, there are different kinds of scare there. And from the scare, again new bud can be formed and new cell can be formed. So it's our third one, that is the budding reproduction. Then our fourth one, that is called the Oedia vegetative reproduction. So what is that actually? In that reproduction, actually what happened? The hyphae break up into individual cells, which are called Oedia or arthrospores. And these cells become rounded or oval in shape and appear like the beads of a rosary. Okay, you can check that it's like a beads. Okay, and you can think about the grapes. Okay, and there is some branches of that, and their grapes are just hanging there, and it's just like that. The hyphae actually are taken that are small branches or small like shapes. It's beads like shape, and it's called the arthrospore or odium. Then from this arthrospore or from that Oedium, it can develop a new hyphae. It's called the Oedia, vegetative reproduction of fungus. Then our another one, that is our fifth one, that is Claymatospores. So what happened? These Claymatospores, actually, we already read about uh, our fission. Before that, we also read about fragmentation. Then we read about fission. Then our third one is budding, and then we learn about Oedia, vegetative reproduction. Then our fifth one, that is called the Claymatospores. So what is Claymatospores? It's actually a one cell fragment. Okay, well, what is the function of it? Is it's just like a you can also say that pre-renating bodies. They are formed either single or in chains in the vegetative hyphae, and then develop thick resistant wall, accumulate food materials, and thus help the fungus to tide over unfavorable conditions such as mucor fusarium. That means if we think that it's a hyphal body or vegetative hyphae of a fungus, then it just taken different kinds of food or different materials sorry incorporate within this hyphae. Okay, and by doing this, it's not like that it's immediately just reproduce. Okay, it can be with that food, it can dormant for long time. Okay, and whenever it gets the favorable condition, with that there is a segment there, it will be divided from that and it will produce in new kinds of fungus or new kinds of hyphae. Okay, from this parent cell. So it is called the Claymatospores. Then our sixth one, that is called the Rhizomes. So what kind of reproduction is that? In this kind of reproduction, actually what happened, it's like several hyphae may become interwoven to form rope-like structures called rhizomes. Okay, that means some hyphae are intertwined together, and that it forms like a rope-like structure, intertwined together and is attached together. Then it's called the rhizomes, and whenever it's get the favorable condition, this separated from one another, and then it's just grow like that absorptive hyphae. Okay, or you can also say that that is the root-like structure. And after getting the favorable conditions, this resume the growth and further gives fruiting bodies. From there will be one kind of fruiting body can be grow from there, and again from this absorptive hyphae, the new mycelium or new hyphae can be grown, or new fruiting bodies can be grown. So it's called the rhizomes. Okay, and some are go to the soil, and in case of that, some hyphae also grow there. Okay, and that is our rhizomes, that is root-like structure. From there, it's actually happen in unfavorable condition from the mycelial strain, and whenever it get the favorable condition, it's like a root-like structure from the rope-like structure. So like a rope, it's like a root. Okay, and from there new hyphaeal body is grow in the upper side. So it's called the rhizomes. Then our last one, that is called Scleria, vegetative reproduction. So what happened there? Actually in this reproduction, uh, the hyphae become interwoven to form a compact mass and get surrounded by hard covering, and such structures are called the sclerotia, or you can say sclerotia. What happened there? That means you can check that it's like a stones. That means within this stone-like structure, there were some fungus within them, and there were some mycelium there. And as these actually some whenever that is unfavorable, very much unfavorable condition, or the hyphae are very much compact together, then for growing later or for getting favorable condition, uh, it is covered with some hard things, or you can also say hard covering or ringed. And whenever this happens, this structure are called the sclerotia or sclerotia. And in this condition, it can be dormant for so many days. It can be so many years. And whenever gets it favorable condition, what happened there? This outer hard shell is just broken down, and from inside the hyphae come out, and then it grow, okay, like a fungus. Or you can also say you grow like a new mycelium. Example like Rhizomes or argot, it's called the sclerotia. So, or sclerotial vegetative reproduction. Okay, so that was for today's our discussion. If we go for a summarize all that, it's like first one is fragmentation, where actually the body is fragmented and from there new mycelia will grow. Second one is fission, where the parent cell actually go division into two portion, and with that cytoplasm and nucleus also go division, and from there two daughter cell is produced. In case of budding, a small buddies grow from the parent cell, and from that bud it can be mature one, and from that uh, small bud that is separated from the mother cell, another bud can be formed. Then our next one is Oedia. In case of Oedia, we learn about that whenever in hyphae or mycelium grow, it will be fragmented or it beats like a structure, and from that one hyphae, new kinds of mycelia can grow. Then our sixth one is Claymore spores. It was like that. Hyphae actually not fragmented all the time. It actually keep or reserve different kinds of foods within it, and whenever got the favorable condition, it will separate it as a new mycelium. And then our rhizomes, it's like a rope-like structure which is called rhizomes. And in favorable condition, that rhizomes is like an absorptive hyphae or a root-like structure from where mycelia can be grown. Then our last one is scleria, and in case of Scleria, it's like it's the mycelium or hyphae. It's just surrounded with a hard structure, and it can dormant for so many years or so many days, and whenever it get favorable condition, it broken down that hard shell and then come out and can grow like a new one. So that was for today our vegetative reproduction of fungus, and our another two reproduction we will read in our next class. Thank you for today.